What is happening, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Stop Lounge. This is episode number 13. And as always, we are your hosts, Jan and Malcolm. How are you, dude?
Tired as fuck, bro. I woke up at 3 a.m. this morning after sleeping about 9:45, and I did a Katy Perry wide awake, bro. I just woke up at 3 a.m. in the morning for no
Wow.
apparent reason, and I am dead tired after a day of work as well. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good, thank you,
I mean, it
bro. How
happens,
are you doing? You good?
to be fair, bro, it happens to everyone. I mean, once in a
I
while as
I,
well.
I
It
don't
happens
know
to
though. Like
me.
my body decided to do a Katy Perry. I don't know why. I don't know.
I had, I had, I had that one. I've had that same situation last Friday. No, I'm fine. As always, did my usual jog. Every Mondays are just for jogging. When it comes to my schedule, um, drenched with sweat. I mean, right now we're in summer. It's fucking hot at the moment. At least today it's not
Yeah.
so much, but the last couple of days were
It's
super hot.
23 degrees outside and it's cloudy
20,
today.
25, I think, something like that. Yeah, it's quite cloudy actually
According
today.
to
Yeah.
my computer, it's 23. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
anyways, guys, before we begin, as always, if you want to follow us on our socials, we're on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. Like, comment, or hit us with a 5-star rating case on Spotify. And with that, we can begin today's episode, which we will be reviewing the Spanish Grand Prix at Catalunya, the first of a triple header. Back to three back-to-back race weekends in Europe. After a brief break in Montreal, we are back in Europe in Spain. And bro, this track, even though it's on the calendar every year, it has a reputation of being one of the most boring tracks in the calendar. This is not a track this is not everyone's cup of tea as a track. We mostly have uneventful races, and this weekend it was a watchable race to be fair, but it was nothing too special. I mean, it is, isn't it? I mean, what do you like or hate about this track? I think it's a very
Listen,
fast track mostly.
Catalunya, it's dominated with downforce. You need quite a bit of downforce for this track. Apart from the main straight, from the start finish straight, it's dominated with downforce and low speed corners.
Mm.
So it is a staple in the calendar, and it's always been a staple. But should it be considered as a staple? I
Drivers
mean,
love it to be fair.
listen, I can understand that it's a fun track to drive. I can understand that it's a fun
Yeah.
track to drive, especially with the arrangement that they made last season. Last season, yeah, with in terms of the final sector, they removed that little chicane and they reverted it back to the old ways, which was much, much, much needed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
I agree.
because that last sector, with how it was, it killed all the momentum. It
Yeah,
killed everything.
definitely.
So now with how it is, reverted back to how it was, it's one swoop.
Much faster
So
lap times as well. 111s,
exactly.
110s.
So in reality, I do like it as a track, but in terms of racing, we haven't seen a good race in quite some time. Like a really good race that
Yeah,
we
I,
can
I
easily remember.
yeah, I agree absolutely. I mean, the drivers love it to be fair because the drivers they normally do winter testing around this track, but for
Yeah.
fans alike, it's not everyone's favorite track. I mean, even for me as well, it's somewhere in the middle. And last weekend we had a great. Now, actually, guys, we actually watched the race together with a couple of our friends as well. So it was a first time for
For the first
everyone.
time.
For the first time, yeah, we actually watched the race together, and we had a fun time watching the race together. But at the same time, we expected something far better at the same time as well. There weren't too many moments where
I mean,
like
we don't expect
close.
we didn't expect a Canada. We didn't expect a Canada,
No,
but
no, absolutely
you
not.
know, at least something more excited that makes us have our attention. Because yes, we did watch the race, but most of the time we were just laughing and cracking jokes.
There's also a chance that we might watch the race live next year.
Hopefully,
This race is going to fall on the same weekend of my birthday as well. Let's hope it happens, obviously, but obviously the tickets are not the cheapest and for when it comes to Formula
yeah.
One races live. So let's hope for the best. So, anyways, guys, as usual, we're gonna get to the usual weekend format with qualifying and the race. In terms of qualifying, with regards to half the grid, no, not much, no big surprises actually, bro. In terms of how teams got placed,
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that really.
some,
I
yeah, I
mean,
would say.
not really surprises, but let's say unexpected.
Yeah, definitely.
For example, a certain driver who's been in red hot form this season so far.
Yeah, we'll get to him quite quickly as well. But anyways, to start from back of the grid, Williams, man, Williams are having a shocker of a season at the moment, aren't they? I mean, 20th and 19th, the worst car for him. Now, Logan Sargent actually got a penalty for received a three-place penalty for impeding another driver during qualifying, so he had to start the back of the grid.
Yeah.
Alex Albon in 19th, and he had to also start from the pit lane as a result of his performance. What's going on with Williams at the moment, man? It seems like Williams, we're seeing a familiar trajectory. 1 point so far, and pretty much the slowest cars on the grid at the moment. When it comes to
Listen.
qualifying.
Williams had Ferrari's pace in Canada.
Yeah,
Practically, if you want to compare it, you
yeah,
can compare it.
I agree.
It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me how a car can go from so quick on one track to so slow on another track.
They make such a
That's what
difference,
amazes
man.
me the most in the sport. That's what amazes me the most in the sport. At least one of the things that amaze me the most,
Yeah,
which is
that
crazy to be honest.
the track conditions and even how depends on how the track is formed out. It makes such a difference, and with Williams, that's what pretty much happened as a result of that. Um, the Racing Bulls, man, 18th and I mean, to be fair, the Racing Bulls, they were off the pace for the entire. They were pretty much exactly like Ferrari in Canada. Just instead it was Racing Bulls. 18th with Danny Rick, which you kind of expect him to, which is not much of a surprise since how seasons turn out. But the big surprise that you said before, Yuki
Yuki
Tsunoda,
Tsunoda.
17. This guy has been consistent all season. He was getting into Q3 with pretty much every qualifying session, and to only manage Q1 and only managing 17th in Q1, that is quite a bump in the road for him. I mean, and this was unfortunately the start of a really bad day at the office for Yuki. What do
Yeah,
you think?
yeah. Sadly enough, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah. Sadly enough, listen. Sometimes it's not just the driver, but it's the car. You can only do so much. For example, you could see
yeah.
what happened with Ferrari in Canada. They can only do so much from going to such a high in Monaco to such a very demeaning low in Canada. So you
Yeah,
can only do so much at the end of the day. But I won't be surprised if Yuki won't feel a bit disappointed with that,
yeah. I think it will be
considering.
yeah, it will be a sting in the teeth for him. I mean, since he's been consistent every single
I reckon he'll
every
bounce back
single
in
round.
Austria, though. I reckon he'll bounce back in
Yeah, I
Austria.
hope so because this weekend, unfortunately, just not
I
just
reckon.
qualifying, but even how his race pace was completely off the pace, and we don't want to see the old Yuki again. It was so fascinating to see how he's been
Yeah,
performing all season.
I don't think nobody wants to see the 2021 Yuki.
No,
The
no,
only the
absolutely not.
only t- the only maybe we would allow the only traits we would allow from 2021 Yuki is maybe his personality and his anger
Yeah, yeah,
management.
yeah, I agree because
But
when he
he
splits
was
off, he's so fun to
hilarious.
watch. Actually. When he splits off, he's actually so fun to watch. Yuki.
Yeah, he's
So
actually pretty entertaining.
yeah, absolutely. Um, and Kevin Magnussen, and but 16th with Kevin Magnussen, no big surprises at the same time. With how their main rivals performed in qualifying, that's going to be a bit of a sting in the teeth for them. Finishing 16th with Kevin Magnussen.
Yeah.
With regards to Q2, Zhou Guanyu 15th, much better considering how he's been performing recently, always in that Q1 phase. And to get him and to manage him 15th is some hope and form for Zhou. Lance Stroll 14th. Again, this is
Both
a
Austins, really.
yeah,
Both
both
Austins, no?
Astons. Yeah, because Alonso actually finished 11th. I mean, Alonso was even more disappointing, more than Lance Stroll. But I mean, with that Aston
It's his home
Martin,
nation.
it's his home. I mean, it's his home Grand Prix. You expect far better for Fernando Alonso to be finishing to be finishing
Yeah.
way higher than 11th actually. With the case of 13th, Hulkenberg's Haas and Valtteri Bottas in 12th with the Sauber.
And
Nico
that
Hul,
and that is both Saubers in Q2.
yeah. Spot on.
That is both Saubers in
Considering,
Q2.
I
I
mean,
think that's the first time this season, no?
yeah, the
First time.
Saubers so far, they've always been
No, not
in the
not
Q1
out in
phases.
Q1. I think Bottas probably got some Q2 appearances here and there.
Yeah. I mean, Zhou Guanyu has always been in Q1. I mean,
Yeah,
I can't remember a second that I can't remember one Grand Prix where he ended up in Q2.
yeah.
But Valtteri Bottas, yeah, he had a few Q2 appearances, and I think he also ended up in Q3 in one of the tracks. No, I think so. I believe.
I
Not sure.
don't recall. I don't
You don't
recall. I'm
recall?
not
No,
gonna. I don't know. I don't know. I don't recall.
no,
You may be right. You
absolutely.
may be wrong. I don't know, bro. Honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Fernando Alonso 11th. I mean, we're gonna mention him again with Fernando Alonso. Home Grand Prix, you expect far more for Fernando. I mean, I mean the home crowd, even us expected him to be in Q3. But at Aston Martin at the moment, just not quite where it wants to be at the moment, isn't it?
I mean, this thought just came into my mind. Ever
Yeah.
since he got that new contract, ever since Alonso got that new contract, his performances were kind of dipping.
Yeah, it's a bit alarming. I mean, him and Perez
Yeah, they were kind of
especially.
dipping, bro. Him and Perez, bro.
Yeah, I think Perez has been the most alarming though. I mean, he got
Yeah,
back to back.
Perez most alarming, definitely. Perez most alarming, definitely.
He at least
But
made to
Alonso as
Q3
well.
this time around. He at least
Yeah,
made
at
to Q3 this
least.
time around.
At least. He didn't get out
Um,
qualified by Logan Sargent.
no, absolutely. I mean, Logan
Uh,
Sargent was probably the worst driver on the grid. I mean, considering
yeah.
how qualifying his race went this weekend. I mean, basically, he got
Yeah,
absolutely
but
fucking
yeah, but
wiped away. But
Alonso, listen, Alonso, ever since that new contract extension, that multi-year deal,
not living up to his contract name, eh?
I mean,
No,
it's kind of sus. We
no,
love Alonso. We
no,
absolutely love
absolutely,
Alonso, but
absolutely.
it's a similar situation, just like you said with Sergio
Yeah,
Perez. Oh no, is it
yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
the how do I put it? How do I put it? The what's the word of it? What's the word to it, man? The
The
demand,
pressure,
the demand, the demand, the demand.
the demand. Okay.
Demand of Formula One nowadays, is it too much for these old guards to handle?
Yeah, I mean, it could be that. It could be that, but at the same time, I think it could be a bit of pressure as well to live up to the announcement of his extension as well. Listen, I think Alonso, he's probably the oldest driver on the grid, so
Yeah, he's
I'm
42,
not
43,
expect.
isn't he?
Yeah, yeah, he's in his 40s, so I'm not really expecting Alonso to just perform week after week. I mean, he's luckily in a team that's in the middle of in the middle of the road. I mean, as far as
Yeah.
as the constructors are, so I'm not expecting Alonso to just perform to perform consistently every single
No,
week.
absolutely. I
All
mean,
he has
listen,
to do,
you can be a very good driver, but you also need to have the car.
yeah, you have the car as well. But at the same time, with especially with how Mercedes have how Mercedes performed during this weekend, and even with likes of McLaren and Ferrari, Aston Martin, I think they will be a little bit disappointed with how they are right now, how their car is at the moment, with terms of
Yeah,
qualifying and both in the race. So,
yeah.
anyways, in Q3, Oscar Piastri in 10. Now, Oscar Piastri actually set two lap times. No, actually, he set a first lap time, but he exceeded track limits. And then, when he was about to perform his final lap time, he went off track and
In the last sector, I believe.
the last second his time up was deleted. And it's a shame because I think Oscar would have ended up in the top five.
Yeah,
Absolutely would have ended
probably.
up in the top
Yeah,
five. That
probably. He was on a stormer.
McLaren right now we have a mega quick car at the moment. So it would for Oscar it is very frustrating that his lap times were deleted. Um, uh, and I mean, obviously, he will learn. Oscar will definitely learn from what happened in qualifying and in the race, how you during this weekend. But again, I think a little bit frustrating that he couldn't set up he couldn't set up a lap time because of his mistakes during in qualifying. But but that McLaren is mega quick. I mean, we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about Lando Norris very soon. Um, Esteban Ocon in ninth and Pierre Gasly in seventh. That Alpine, both
Two
cars in
Alpines.
Q3. And
That
it's
Flavio Briatore effect.
yeah. And speaking of Flavio Briatore, Alpine announced that Flavio Briatore has been appointed as the senior advisor, executive advisor, I believe. So that listen, that might be controversial news for the
That is
Formula
very
One drag
controversial,
race.
by the way.
Very
I
controversial.
seen a video today on why he got banned from Formula One for life, by the way, because
Yeah,
of that 2008 the Singapore scandal.
yeah, the Singapore scandal. Yeah, I remember that.
But
I
I
actually
didn't really
remember
quite.
that race.
I didn't really quite catch it. Apparently, the situation was he wanted Nelson Piquet to crash to force a
Yeah,
safety car to
deliberately
help
crashed.
Alonso win
Yeah,
the race.
yeah, he deliberately crashed that actually.
I mean, how is that a scandal?
Yeah, but the tactics during that race were
It
quite
is
fishy, to
dirty.
be
It
fair.
is dirty. It is dirty.
They're very
But
dirty.
is it really a scandal?
I think they might have overdone it a bit, but listen, you can't cheat in sports. So
Yeah, yeah.
when they spot
To
something,
me, listen,
they will have the investigation about
us
it.
in Maltese, we call that Mossa Cobra.
Mossa Cobra, yeah,
We call that
absolutely.
Mossa Cobra. That's how I see it,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
That's how I see it.
But
So,
anyways, back to
I
the
don't
Fabio
know.
Briatore news. Listen, I don't know about how you feel on this news, bro, but I don't agree with it. I think Flavio should be banned completely from the sport.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, I don't know how he's back. I don't know
no,
how. Wasn't he, like, just like we said, wasn't he banned for life?
yeah, yeah,
So how is he back?
yeah.
And
That's what I thought at
and the thing
first,
and the
but
thing and the thing is here, and the thing is here, with how Renault is now Alpine, whatever.
yeah,
Yes, he is controversial, but let's not forget their best success came under Flavio Briatore,
yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah,
whether we like it or we don't. So
yeah.
maybe they need
Listen,
someone like him.
I think he just, I
I believe this for Alpine. This is a desperate times call for desperate measures kind of
yeah,
move.
I think they appointed someone who is
Yeah,
well into who has pedigree and experience in the team. I think, listen, as much as we don't like, I think Flavio might be one of the key men to bring Alpine back to where they really belong. But it might not be the case as well. But Q3 for both cars is such a massive confidence booster going so far. They're slowly getting their cars slowly getting there. I mean, with Esteban Ocon in ninth and Pierre Gasly in seventh, great result for Alpine. Definitely their best qualifying performance in the season without any doubt. There's no debate on that. I
no,
mean,
no debate whatsoever.
sandwiched in between Sergio Perez in eighth. Listen, the good news is he's out of the Q1 phase, but the bad news is eighth place is not great for Red
Eighth
Bull,
place for Red
isn't
Bull.
it? Isn't it?
Like, bro, come on. Like, come on, bro. And the same case with, just like we said with Alonso.
Yeah,
Sergio Perez is at the moment. I think that Red Bull second seed curse has
it's hitting.
really kicked in this season.
Yeah, yeah. I think way more than last season with Perez, definitely.
Yeah, no
It's
doubt, no doubt. At least last season, Sergio Perez did he finish second in the championship?
yeah, and if not second in the top three, definitely he finished.
He finished second last
Yeah,
season, and now where is he? Where did he get?
and he already won a race. And by this point, he had already won a race.
Yeah, he did. He didn't win the second race of the season last season in Jeddah.
Yeah, yeah.
At the moment, he's fifth,
Well
behind
placed.
Norris and the two Ferraris.
Listen, I think we're gonna get to Paris later on how he performed in the race. But listen, I mean, he got out of Q1, but eighth place for him and for Red Bull, not good enough. I'm sorry.
Nah,
He should be in the
kind of
top
mid.
five, should be in the top three, in my opinion.
Yeah,
With
kind of
Red Bull
mid.
car.
Top five at least.
Top five
Top
at
five at
least.
least.
Um, the two Ferraris in sixth and fifth. Carlos Sainz again. Listen, a home race for him. He performed better than Alonso, to be fair, but considering how he performed in practice, sixth place, quite disappointing to be fair.
Listen, bro.
You have different thoughts on it, I know, but
After the farce that happened in Canada, I will happily take that. After the farce of
fair,
Canada, bro,
fair
I
enough,
would
I
happily
guess.
take it. I would happily take it. No doubt.
Fair enough, I
I
guess,
would
but
happily take it. I'll take anything, anything. Bro, Canada was so bad that both Ferraris were out.
Yeah,
So
I
of course
agree.
I would take anything.
But
Even to
then
just
again,
finish the race, I would happily accept it.
yeah, I mean, but listen, I mean, even, but is it quite alarming that both Mercedes and McLaren you were outperformed by both Mercedes and McLaren?
For
It's
two
a bit
race weekends in a
concerning.
row, yeah. Yeah, it is.
That's
For
why
two race week. Yeah,
I wouldn't take this
listen.
lightly.
For two race weekends in a row to be outperformed by Mercedes, it is pretty alarming.
Yeah, and
Considering that Hamilton will move to Ferrari next season.
yeah, and
So
speaking of Mercedes, fourth and third with Russell and Hamilton. Hamilton back
absolutely.
in the podium places for qualifying. Maybe
Yeah.
how the race turned out as well. But for Mercedes, this was much well needed for Mercedes, depending how the season has been going for them. Fantastic qualifying
No
performance
doubt.
for them. Probably their best. And for Hamilton, it was great to see him back in the top three. I don't know about you.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, no doubt. Especially Lewis Hamilton. He had a chance in Canada to finish in the podium, but they gave that to Russell,
Yeah,
and now they gave this one to Lewis Hamilton. So I think they've been really fair,
yeah.
Mercedes, how they played it out.
And Mercedes, they've been and listen, we had a feeling that Mercedes were going to have we're gonna deliver this weekend because in practice, they finished in the top three pretty much in nearly all of their practice qualifying on their practice rounds. So
Yeah.
we had a feeling that things were starting to look on the bright side for Mercedes. And
I reckon we had that feeling in Canada.
Yeah, but I think, but
I'd say
now
we
it's
had that
looking
feeling
now
in
it's looking
Canada.
very evident now
Yeah.
with how things were for me.
Well needed upgrades for them.
Now
Well needed.
Max Verstappen actually was in provisional pole, but he was snatched at the last second by Lando Norris, one with a 111.383, and Max Verstappen with a 111.403.
That
Max
I believe that's 20 thousandths of a second, no?
Yeah, 20,000 of a second, exactly. Fantastic for Lando Norris
Oh,
again. I mean,
absolutely.
he really listen. He's
He
hungry.
cooked.
This
He
lad is
cooked in that
hungry.
and he cooked that lap.
Yes, absolutely. He was on fire for the entire lap. He looked
He cooked that
on
lap,
the
man.
edge
He
throughout,
cooked.
and he's it's a well deserved pole position for him. I mean, again, refreshing to not see Max getting another pole position for him, and Lando, proving once again that Miami wasn't a one off for him as well.
And this is a fun fact. This is a fun fact.
Yeah,
This is Lando Norris's second ever pole position.
yeah,
But not only that, in the
it's
last four
McLaren's.
races, we had four different pole sitters
Yeah,
and four different teams.
yeah, I agree.
A bit of a fun fact there.
Yeah, at least we were spot on in our preseason predictions that at least it hasn't been all Max. Let
Yeah,
it be
absolutely.
just let the fact be that who won the race this weekend. No surprises there, but the fact that we're having at least
He's
different
not.
drivers
It's not
going
as
for
easy
pole.
going. It's not as easy
It's
going for Max this
no,
season.
it's not as dominant as last season at the very least, where
No,
we were
oh,
just seeing
absolutely.
all a Red Bull
Yeah,
fiasco fest basically.
yeah.
So very happy that McLaren has been mega quick pretty much even before the upgrades arrived. To be fair, but now we're looking. I mean, I'm gonna repeat myself of what I said in the previous episodes, but we're looking like we're very consistent. We
And
can
I'm gonna
literally
say
be on
something
par with
that,
both Ferrari and Red Bull. To be honest, sorry.
and I'm gonna say something that I did state in previous episodes.
Yeah, go
That
ahead.
you've been on the up ever since Silverstone last season.
Yeah, we have
That
actually.
when you introduced that chrome livery,
Yeah.
since then you've been on the up.
Yeah, listen, I'm not surprised that fans are taking selfies with Zach Brown and Andreas Selenko because they're getting the
They did a
car
mega
right.
job. They've done a mega job.
They're
And
doing a
Zach
mega job
Brown, listen, Zach Brown has been with the team for since when? 2018?
during when the team was in crisis mode, pretty much. I mean,
Yeah,
or
20. I
reaching the end
believe
of crisis
20.
mode. So 2018,
2016,
2017.
2018?
Yeah, right around those years, basically.
All right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but very, very happy at least that Lando is looking very, very hungry for not just for getting pole positions, but to go for race wins as well. Now we get to the race, and Lando will be very disappointed with how he started the race because he pushed Verstappen a little bit off the track and he was near going to receive a penalty, but at least he didn't got any further investigation on that. But he got passed by both Max Verstappen and George Russell. Which, by the way, what a start by Russell! I mean,
See what
literally.
happened. What happened there was. I believe was it Verstappen was trying to push Norris, or was
Yeah,
it the other way
yeah,
around? I think that's how it went.
yeah.
Was it Verstappen or was it Norris trying to push?
No,
Who was
Norris.
it?
No, Norris tried to push Verstappen basically, but then Norris just went
And that
slightly wide.
opened the door for for Russell.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
opened the door for Russell on the outside and took both of them at once, which was a mega move, by the way.
Yeah, great move. I think
Mega move.
one of the passes of the season, if I'm being
That was
honest
a
as
mega
well.
move. The way and he made the car stick. By the way, that was a mega move by
Yeah,
Russell.
yeah, mega move. But pretty much it was a clean start. Now, obviously Spain. Everyone went on softs with the exception of Alex Albon, who went on the medium. So this was going to be a two-stop strategy. I mean, 66 laps isn't isn't a short race. So everyone pretty much went with a two-stop strategy. Everyone went with the softs. So the pit stops were just starting to happen as early as after the 10th lap. Now before that, we did see a few overtakes, but we also saw some near collisions as well. One of them was the two Ferraris and Carlos Sainz and Hamilton, which
That
by
you
the
bloody
way,
cursed. By the way, one of them which you bloody cursed.
yeah, absolutely.
Which you bloody cursed. By the way, you dickhead, man.
For those guys, for those of you who are not getting this, by the way, I have a tendency of just jinxing a lot of shit over the past 2 years. My jinxing skills have been quite scary, actually.
They're not skills, bro. They're not skills. They're not skills, man.
No,
Stop saying they're skills.
but
They're
it's
not
quite
skills,
scary.
bro.
And I said this. I said
It is
and
very
Carlos
scary.
Sainz and Hamilton. I told you that Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton. They were. I told it like, please, imagine if they both crashed and they nearly collided. Actually, they touched.
They
They
touched.
touched. They touched.
My God, man.
But at least nothing happened. It didn't
At,
ruin their race, basically.
yeah, at least, at least.
Um,
But Ferrari, on the other hand, between Leclerc and Sainz, I believe there's some animosity brewing there.
yeah, yeah,
There is
absolutely.
some animosity because there was a lot of complaining during the race.
Yeah, especially from Leclerc. He wasn't agreeing with Plan A, eh?
Yeah, and
Wasn't
I
agree
don't know
with
what
Plan
Plan
A.
A is.
No, I
What the
think
fuck's Plan A? I don't
it
know.
was from the tire strategies basically.
I believe no, that's how it
Yeah,
is. But
absolutely.
this Plan A has been going on since Binotto. The
Yeah,
spirit of Binotto is
but at
reappearing.
least
It has reappeared these past two races, bro.
but you're not making as many errors as you were before. To be honest, with the pit stop strategies.
Thank Christ for that.
Yeah,
Thank
at
Christ.
least.
I
But pretty
mean,
much, bro.
at least.
But no, pretty much, bro. Overall, it was quite a clean race. I mean, no
No, it was.
retirements.
Apart from the touchy feely between Hamilton and Sainz in the early stages,
The focus
that
was
yeah,
obviously in the front row, because Max, where everyone thought he was gonna go and perform, I was gonna like go 10 seconds ahead of everyone else. That wasn't the case because Lando was on consistent pace all weekend, and even the two Mercedes were in the running as well. Maybe not as much as Max or Lando, but
mega,
but,
mega,
but, but
mega.
were both as well. Now, at the back of the grid, we did see a few time penalties coming from Kevin Magnussen, who had a false start. Um, and
Yeah.
Nico Hülkenberg and Yuki Tsunoda receiving 5-second time penalties for speeding in the pit lane. So, I mean, let's just get it straight to Haas and Racing Bulls. I mean, both teams stinkers of
Yeah,
weekends,
yeah, they
especially
were
Racing
shocking.
Bulls.
Especially Yuki Tsunoda.
Yeah, and speaking of Yuki Tsunoda, this was just a bad day in the office for Yuki Tsunoda. I mean, let's hope
Terrible weekend for
gets
him,
back
bro.
next this week in Austria. Um, Austria, right? Is next race.
Yeah, it's in Austria this week. Yeah, we're in Austria this weekend.
Yeah, Austria, yeah, absolutely. Let's hope he picks up. He gets back to his consistent best.
Hopefully,
With
hopefully, hopefully.
Austria, but this was a really really poor weekend for him. I mean, that racing boost, to be fair, it was off the pace throughout the entire
Yeah,
weekend. So
yeah.
disappointing for them. But let's get going back to the top of the now. Lando Norris got the fastest lap of the race. So he got an additional point since obviously he finished outside the top. So he finished in the top 10. But unfortunately, Lando's race was compromised at the
That's the
start
word.
and also in some of the pit stops because Max, his strategy was another masterclass perform was another superb another mega drive for
That's why
Max.
he's a two-time
Not
world
just how
champion,
he
bro.
performed as well, but also three-time world champion, bro. Not two, three-time world champion, bro.
Three-time? Oh shit.
Three-time,
Oh,
three-time world
my
champion,
bad,
three-time
fam.
world champion.
Well,
Um,
even
and
even even furthers the point. Even furthers the point.
I mean, and even how this season's turned out to be, it's going to be number 4 for him pretty much. But
Probably, probably.
um,
Not as plain sailing. Not as
no,
plain sailing.
listen, that Red Bull right now is as plain sailing as it was
No.
at the start of the season and last season. But he's just getting the job done at the moment,
Yeah.
man. I mean, this is why he's the
And
best
there's
in
no
the
and there's
business at the
and there's no
moment.
pressure on the kid. Listen, and the kid doesn't have any pressure.
No,
Let's not
absolutely.
forget. Let's not forget. Max Verstappen is our age.
Yeah,
He is
he's in our
20
same
fucking
age gap,
6. He's 20 fucking 6. So,
and
not
it's
only to be a three-time world champion, but to have
yeah.
probably
And
for his sake
right now,
completed Formula 1 with that composure.
and listen,
Chapeau,
the
honestly.
scary thing about this is his 61st career victory. He is charging up to Hamilton's record. I mean, at this point,
Yeah.
he's going to obliterate Hamilton's record
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, no doubt.
If we're
No
gonna keep
doubt.
on at this pace at the moment.
Yeah.
But again, he just got the strategy spot on. He knew exactly where to pit the tires and even the pit stops from Red Bull. I mean, at the first pit stop was like a 1.9 or a 1.8, one of the fastest pit stops
9. Yeah, a
of the
1.9.
season,
A
not if not the
1.9.
fastest.
On Verstappen.
Verstappen obviously because Sergio Perez is a completely different story, but they're
Yeah,
just the best
you
in the
know what
business at
I'm
the moment.
noticing though? You know what
Yeah.
I'm noticing though?
Hmm.
Is it the fact that Red Bull, right? Did they focus the car development around Max too much and they're just leaving Perez to adapt?
It's looking like that. I mean, even last season it was the case. I mean, it's
Because how can
clear
you have
that
listen, bro,
they're
because
putting the
bro,
focus on
listen.
Max.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean it's always been, but this is what I'm trying to understand. How can you have the same car for both drivers and the gap is that far?
it's
How?
because of the skill.
Is
I think
Perez
I
is Perez really that worse than Max Verstappen?
listen. I mean, Perez right now his form is very alarming.
Yeah, yeah,
Since
no
ever since
doubt.
he announced it, but at the same time, I think it's clear that they're putting the more focus on Max because he is
Yeah,
in the more in the chance of getting into that world championship crown rather than Sergio.
yeah. Listen.
But
Red Bull since 2016 has been Max Verstappen FC. We all know that.
we all know that.
Since 2016, we know that.
But at the same time, Perez is the second. He is in that second driver shenanigans basically at the moment.
I guess you could put it like
Yeah.
that.
But for Max Verstappen, he is one of the drivers of the day. He not my pick for driver of the day, but this was another brilliant performance for him and the team. And this is why he is a three-time world champion. This is why he's the best. He's the best of the bunch at the moment. And this is definitely not the last race when we're going to see him. If he continues at this pace, he's going to get that fourth world title at ease, basically, unless
Yeah,
something miraculous happens, obviously. Obviously,
yeah.
Lando looked quite dejected at the end because he was in the chance of winning that race. But unfortunately, as I said before, the start and also some of his pit stops compromised a bit of the race. And listen, I'm very
He blamed
happy.
the most on the race start, though.
Yeah, I think the race start
Yeah,
was the
he was
main
really
factor
compromised with
basically
the race
because the
start.
pit stops were fast from him. I mean, it was a 2 second pit stop or even in those ranges. But considering that he started the race on pole, I think I think he would have wanted that race win absolutely. I mean, right now he wants to build on what he did in Miami basically.
Yeah, and
Um,
rightfully so.
and
Rightfully
rightfully
so.
so, yeah. So I'm very happy that he got another podium. That's more points for McLaren, and obviously we're gaining up on Ferrari basically, considering how the constructor standings are at the moment. But at the same time, um, if this was 2 or 3 more laps, I think Lando
Yeah, he would have had him.
would have had the chance of winning this
Listen,
race, but
in the space of about 5 to 6 laps, the gap was from 5 seconds to about 2.5,
at the end was 2.2 seconds basically
2.2.
because
So he would have got him eventually if
yeah,
it
he
was
would
more
have got
laps,
him. Yeah,
but
I would
he
agree, he would have
would have
gotten
got
him.
him eventually. He would have got him
Um,
eventually.
yeah, the two Mercedes in third and fourth with Hamilton and Russell. Hamilton back on the podium places. It was so great to see.
Yeah.
We kind of missed him. We kind of missed Hamilton to be on in the podium, and we're
And that's Lewis Hamilton on the podium for the 18th consecutive year,
yeah,
bro.
which
Which is
is
fucking crazy,
an
man.
unbelievable achievement. And
Which is ridiculous,
for
bro.
us, listen,
Chapeau,
Lando
honestly.
Norris, yeah, it's ridiculous right now. Yeah, massive credit to him. Listen, Lando Norris got driver of the day, and can see why he got driver of the day. But for both of us, it's going to be Hamilton. I mean,
Yeah,
Hamilton
we're gonna pick him.
um, deserves it, man. I mean,
Purely because for that he got his first podium of the season.
not because of that. I mean, this
He had
season,
a great drive. He had a great drive. He had a good drive.
yeah, listen,
But
this is his final season with Mercedes, so he doesn't have a lot at his stake.
yeah,
But considering how this season has been going for him, I mean, 8 places, way outside the top 5 finishes to get into the podium places, and even just Mercedes, how their weekend was, outperforming
yeah,
Ferrari and Aston Martin, one of the McLarens as well. This is a fantastic weekend for Mercedes, and let's hope.
yeah.
I think for not just us, but
Back
even
to back
fans of the
decent
team,
weekends actually.
back to back these weeks, but this has been their best so
Yeah,
far,
this is
without
better.
any stretch of the imagination. This is definitely their best weekend so far. Um, let's hope this is the sign of things to come for Mercedes because Toto Wolff would be very pleased with that. And
We were questioning him a couple episodes
yeah,
ago.
yeah, absolutely.
We were
And
questioning him.
and yeah, again, this is a fantastic weekend for Mercedes to get into those podium places with third and fourth. Now, Leclerc was very close to getting that fourth place, but George Russell just got him in the end.
Yeah.
And speaking of Ferrari, fifth and sixth. Now, bro, I think you might have a different opinion on this, but for me, yes, you got points, but you expect a bit more for Ferrari
Should we have
to
done
avoid that
better?
fifth and
Should we
sixth.
have done better?
For me, yes, you should
Should
have
we
done
have done
better.
better? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
But after the fiasco of last race, I would have taken anything. So I'm not going to complain today.
Yeah, but
I'm not going to
listen,
complain.
if for me the most, I would be a little bit disappointed with this Carlos Sainz because it's his home race, and
What I'm more disappointed is the animosity between the two drivers.
they didn't. To be honest, they didn't need that tussle up between them towards the
That's
start
what
as
I'm
well.
most concerned about. I'm not concerned that we got fifth and sixth. I'm more concerned. Listen, I can understand Carlos Sainz. This is normal for someone who
Yeah,
is leaving his work post. That he doesn't give a shit on how
no,
what he does and how he does
yeah.
it. So it's completely normal. because
And listen,
science
we don't
really
want,
has
they
nothing
don't
to
want, they
lose.
don't want
So I don't really blame him.
a situation. Listen, they don't want like a similar toxic situation a la Gasly and Ocon. We they don't want a
I think they
situation
already
to
have
happen
that.
for that to happen
I
ever. Yeah,
I
but
I think that situation started to brew ever since Hamilton was announced.
yeah, to be honest, I agree with that.
Let's be real
But
now.
yeah, fifth and sixth, they got points, but at the same time, disappointing for Ferrari
Yeah,
to be in those positions. Um,
it is, but I
Oscar,
would have
yeah,
taken it.
yeah,
I'll
fair enough.
take it.
Oscar Piastri in seven. Now again, Oscar Piastri, um, uh, that obviously what happened in qualifying costed him in the race because again, if he got that lap time perfectly, he would have been in the top five places absolutely, and in seventh place. It's disappointing for him, and that unfortunately costed him.
At least he made up 3 places. No,
Yeah, at least he got some points. He
I mean
can
at least he
take he
made up three
can
places.
take
He did the most
Lando.
he could, man.
Listen, he can't take his teammate for getting into the top three, to get more to get a lot of points in the bag. But yeah, seventh place, a little bit underwhelming for his standards, but at the same time, it's points in the bag. Not gonna complain that much, but that qualifying performance really costed Piastri. We mentioned him before, Sergio Perez in eight. Listen, this is alarming for Sergio Perez.
It is.
To be in those positions and to not be nowhere near the pace of his teammate. Um, Eighth place is not good enough for Sergio
Just like
Perez.
I
He's having a
mentioned,
stinker at the moment.
the car is not suited for Perez.
No,
The car is
and
not suited for Perez.
listen,
It has
um,
at least it has to be one of the cases now.
the fact he finished over 25 seconds over Oscar Piastri, that for me, that's quite shocking for Checo to be that behind a McLaren.
Yeah,
With all due respect, but
yeah.
yeah,
But there
ever
were but Perez. Listen, Perez had a different strategy than the most of the field because he
yeah,
went on soft, soft, medium,
yeah,
and the rest went on soft, medium, soft, or soft, medium, hard.
yeah, I
So
agree.
Perez had a different
Yeah,
strategy than most.
absolutely.
So we'll give him the benefit
Yeah,
of the doubt on that.
but listen, I think three. I think Red Bull might regret this that they've extended his contract, but who knows? I mean, we might see some improvements from here on in, but
Which we hope. But I said it before, I'll say it again. I
yeah,
believe they should have gave Perez at least a 1 year contract extension, not a multi-year one. Same with Yuki.
no, no, two
They
years
gave
is too
Yuki a
much
1 year
for him.
deal.
2 years is too much. Yeah.
Why did they give Perez 2 years, bro? It makes no sense.
I
It
have
makes
no
no
idea.
sense.
For me they should have extended this contract in the first place. But I don't work with Red Bull,
Listen,
so it's up to them.
me neither. Me neither. In my opinion, they should have. But who are they gonna replace Perez with?
For me, it should have been Carlos Sainz. But anyways, that's over and done with.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
finishing in the top 10 are the two Alpines, 9th and 10th, Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon. This has been a great weekend for Alpine. Let's give them a
absolutely, bro.
benefit of the doubt. Great qualifying round for them, and points in the bag. In the race, it might be listen 3 points, but 3 points for a team like them, those are priceless points
Yeah.
for them. And
At
considering,
this stage for them, that's a race win.
yeah, even considering that Aston Martin, Sauber, and even their other rivals not getting any points, this is they have gained a lot of ground for them basically.
Yeah, yeah,
But Um, anyway, finishing outside the points, Nico Hulkenberg in 11th, Fernando Alonso in 12th. Alonso, shocker weekend for him, home race, and finishing
yeah,
well outside the
yeah, man.
points. That's a shocker for him. Zhou Guanyu in 13th, Lance Stroll 14th, Danny Ricciardo in 15th, Valtteri Bottas in 16th, Kevin Magnussen 17th, Alex Albon in 18th, Yuki Tsunoda 19th, and Logan Sargent 20th. All
Hurts.
right, bro. Driver of the day is Hamilton. I think.
I give it Lewis Hamilton.
But you, however, we were mentioning our picks. You mentioned that you were going to give it to Alpine,
Alpine.
right?
Alpine, yeah, Alpine, one of the contenders. Listen, to them, 9th and 10th, both cars. To them, it's a race win. They're contenders, strong contenders, but I'm gonna give it to Lewis Hamilton. First podium of the season for him. Super happy for him. He's my driver of the day.
Even with regards to teams, Mercedes are the team
Yeah,
that can be
and we
that
gave
can
him
be
a
the
lot of
happiest.
shit. We gave him a lot of shit, by the
Yeah,
way.
a lot of shit actually.
We gave him a lot of shit,
A
bro.
lot of shit.
So you know what? Chapeau to them.
Yeah.
Chapeau to
I
them.
would have listened. I would have considered Alpine and also Verstappen or Lando Norris, but I wouldn't give it to Lando Norris because number one, I've been giving Lando Norris driver of the day several times, so I would love to give it to someone else.
You've been on his dick.
Listen,
You've been on
listen.
his dick, is what
Hang
you
on a
want to
minute.
say.
The McLaren fans are on his dick, so I give them based on merit, not because of finances. Okay, let's just get that fucking thing out of the way. But listen, listen, Hamilton deserves it. Hamilton fully deserves it. I would have also given it to Max Verstappen, but Hamilton deserves that driver day, and even Mercedes. In regards to the winners as on team based, it's definitely Mercedes who go out on top of us. Loser of the day is a pretty tricky one to be fair, but for me, Williams have to be in.
Listen. I think I feel so.
Williams
I
have
feel
to be
so.
in that category. They've had a
Yeah, Williams are
shocker of a
there,
weekend. They've had an
but I
absolute
think I'm
shocker
gonna
of a
be
weekend.
mega harsh this one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Racing Bulls.
I.
It's harsh. I
It's
know. It's
harsh,
harsh.
yes,
I know.
but my yeah, they performed poorly this weekend, but my pick is Sergio Perez. My pick is going to be Sergio Perez. Yes, obviously he got points, but this is a worrying for him. To be how he be back in back to back Q1 in Q1 and also to finish in eighth, not good enough. Nowhere near good enough. And that second driver curse is kicking in
Yeah,
big time.
it is really kicking
Absolutely
in this
kicking in big
season.
time.
Really kicking in, especially this season.
I think that's pretty much it, bro. Because for clown of the day and for
Yeah.
dick of the day, we don't really have a lot of picks, do we?
I mean, listen, for Dick of the Day, I
You
think
could give it to Lando Norris actually for dick of the day for that move against.
no,
No,
no. Actually, I was gonna give it to Science.
it
I
could
was
be.
gonna give
Yeah,
it to
yeah.
Science
I kind of agree with
because
it, but
listen. The fact, listen. On one corner, remember when they Leclerc and Sainz went side by side. Sainz took Leclerc on the outside and he squeezed Leclerc,
yeah.
and he didn't need to. I even told you that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that was
He
completely
didn't need to do it. He
that
didn't
was
need
com-
to do it.
that was completely needless
So
for
unnecessary.
him. It's
I
pretty
don't know why
unnecessary.
the hell. Maybe he wanted to send a message of sorts. I don't know what he wanted to do, but that was so
Ferrari don't
unnecessary to squeeze him like that in the
listen.
first corner.
Ferrari don't need these shenanigans. Ferrari don't need these tough stops between the two drivers right now. They absolutely don't. It's completely needless.
No doubt.
So I agree with that the other day. Oh, so sorry for dick of the day. All right,
Dick of the day for
that's
me
pretty
has to go
much
with
it
science.
for the Spanish Grand Prix. We look at the standings. Verstappen stays on top with 219 points. Lando is now up to second with 150 points. Charles Leclerc is 2 points behind him with 148. Carlos Sainz is in fourth with 116 points. Sergio Perez in fifth with 111 points. Oscar Piastri in sixth with 87 points. George Russell and Lewis Hamilton in seventh and eighth with 81 points and 70 points respectively. Fernando Alonso in ninth with 41 points. Yuki Tsunoda in 10th with 19 points. Lance Stroll in 11th with 17 points. Daniel Ricciardo in 12th with 9 points. Ollie Behrman and Nico Hulkenberg with 6 points. Pierre Gasly with 5 points. Esteban Ocon with 3 points. Alex Albon 2 points. Kevin Magnussen with 1 point. Zhou Guanyu, Valtteri Bottas, and Logan Sargent still without points this season. If we look at the constructors, Red Bull with 330 points, they stay on top. Ferrari with 270 points. McLaren in third with 237 points. Slowly gaining up on Ferrari there. Mercedes in fourth with 151 points. Aston Martin in fifth with 58 points. Racing Bulls with 28 points in sixth. Alpine in seventh with 8 points. Haas in eighth with 7 points. Williams with 2 points in ninth. And Sauber in 10th with 0 points. All right. That is it, guys, for the end of this episode. Make sure to follow us on our socials. And our next episode is going to be in today week,
In a week's time.
where it's the start, obviously, of a triple header. Yeah, in a week's time, it's the start of a triple header, where we head to Austria. Personally, one of my favorite tracks in the calendar. It's a very competitive
Yeah.
racetrack.
Yeah. Love
In
Austria.
Spielberg.
Love Austria.
Yeah, absolutely love it.
Absolutely.
And
Short, fast. Love it. And the two
as
main
competitive.
straight, the two back straights, where you get 2 DRS zones.
Yeah.
Fire.
In competitive,
Actually, there's
very,
three.
very competitive.
There's 3 DRS zones: the start finish
Yeah.
straight, the
I
back
agree, yeah.
straight, the first back straight, and the
Absolutely.
second back straight.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, that is it. Take care. Hope you have a great week ahead. And as always, we see you for the next episode. Adios.
Much love.